Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Drive-In DJ Network on Facebook and YouTube. Tonight, we're at Lanier Motor Speedway for the J&G Hardwood Flooring North-South Racing League. Last recruitment race in the booth tonight. It's going to be DJ and Ray. Ray, what's going on, man? We're already rolling here. How's it going, my friend?
Good evening, DJ, and from Lanier, obviously, we're talking to you. And as you see this is the beginning of the first qualifier of the Turn 4. Caution's not out just yet, but these are still doubling side by side up front. One guy into the fence over in Turn 2, and we bring you this race again live here on the DJ Network.
Sorry for the delay, folks. Had a couple technical difficulties on our end, but we're excited to call who's doing what right now. The 23 car in the lead.
23 of Kyle Specs. Actually, he started on the pole tonight, by the way, there, DJ. Outside of him was Greg Wood. Actually, let me rephrase it now that I'm looking at these specs. Spees was actually, I thought was on the pole. It shows him. Oh, because it shows Greg in P1. That's what it is. Spees was on the pole originally when this first started. Greg Wood was on Joe Wikowski. That's one name I'm probably going to screw up for the whole season. But again, this is a recruitment race.
Heck yeah, absolutely. A lot of these guys familiar to me, some of them, a lot of new faces. So a lot of beautiful cars. We're going to call them out as the night goes on. Pace car lights still on here. 22 laps to go. Doesn't look like they're counting cautions currently. Not sure what the rules are. We're going to get all that dialed in for when we come to you guys next week for our official season racing for these guys. We are going to be the official voice of the North-South Racing League. So we're excited to have these guys with us throughout the next couple months. So we'll see what happens there, Ray. But Lanier, man, it's a tight little track here. We'll see if we can get some information up on the screen. You can see it is a you want to keep the momentum up in these big heavy cars.
Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, there's not a lot of horsepower to these things. We've talked about the street stocks before. As I'm saying, as car lights are off, they're going to double them up at the line. We'll bring them around to Turn 2. And, again, it is momentum. There's a lot of momentum to be had with these guys. The turns are pretty wide here at Lanier, even though it is a short track, which these guys will be running most of the season. Of course, oval track cars, street stocks, about 400 horsepower, 3,400 pounds. As I say this, the pace car comes off the track, and we got our second green flag of the night. Greg Wood, out to a huge lead, automatically there on the low side, and Spets real high in that 136 car. Leaves the bottom open for that 7N of David Gilbert. Gilbert trying to take advantage, not enough room to get there, but try to take and keep it low on the track. As again, Kyle goes wide in that 136 up by the tower there in the start-finish line. Obviously, Greg Wood way out front. Joe Wikowski, one into the fence there, Turn 2, nosed in. Got to see who that was.
Looks like Jason Gordon in the 128. We'll try to jump back one more time, kind of see what happened. Looks like Phil Martin in the 46 behind him, the 35 car outside of him. Just a little free in, nowhere to go, and loops it himself. So
one of the things about these cars, even though again they're your local short track cars, the tires still have to warm up. That was only 2 laps on that last run. That's all they got in. Lap 5 they're working right now, and as you said earlier, DJ, they're not counting caution laps. So 25 laps of this is going to go on. They only have a 15-minute time limit. They're 9 minutes and 37 seconds into that already. And with that being said, only the top 4 go to the feature. So everybody else from there on down, thank you for coming.
Here, he's one of the admins in the league, just trying to scope out and seeing how these guys are doing. A lot of these guys already locked in, so so the newcomers are trying to come in and kind of show their face and prove that they can hold the line and excuse me, and duke it out with the rest of these guys that have proven themselves. As this is the last recruitment race, they have had several already, so they've got a pretty good roster lined up. And we're just trying to get our last couple guys in this one before we hit the road for a full season.
You know, as you say that about Philip, I'm kind of curious about one thing. You know, obviously he's an admin. He's in this qualifier to make the feature. If he does not make it, I'm assuming that he's not in and he'll be admitting from the plane. But the way I've always looked at it, DJ, I don't know about your opinion, but as far as I'm concerned, a paint job on a race car should make it look like 1,000,000 miles an hour while it's sitting still. But on the same note, well, white is kind of a flash, so he's going 1,000,000 miles an hour. We'll count that as it. And as I say, this pace car lights are off again. Single file this time. Going to try to get more than 2 laps out of this. 11 minutes into it. 4 minutes to go before they cut this race short.
See what happens. Definitely want to try to get some green flag racing underway. Pace car is going to make its way off, making that sharp left turn. Bunching them up. Woods here is getting a little racy. Side by side further on back, going down into turn 3. They kind of settle in here. A little bumping and grinding. Nothing hurt. Nobody hurt.
128 slow there on the inside on the start-finish line. I think he's going to pull it off for the evening. Wachowski there in at 24 in the 4th place spot. A little bit of pressure there from this 46, who is now up to 5th. That'd be our own Philip Martin. He's on the deck lid of that 24. That is the catbird seat for this evening, and a caution is again on our speedway.
Sure what it was for. It looks like the 76
like
Mark Shute making his way inside the pit road.
Take a look at the 122, bud. That would be Michael Verdes. It looks like he spun going into 1 somewheres there. He's trying to catch back up to the pack. Didn't exactly catch it. There he is. Right happened. Rewind it back here as they come around turn 4. A little bit of spin in front of us. The 122 checks up. Unfortunately, the 168, excuse me, I believe it's the 128 of Jason Gordon, just gives him a shove around, obviously bringing out our 3rd caution here for the qualifier this evening. 12:32 now into this. 2.5 minutes to go before they call it.
Right now, they're just doing what's unfortunately called by so many is eye-pacing. A lot of these guys excited, trying to make their way up into the top 4 for this one. But right now, it's been all Greg Wood in that 23 machine. Kyle Spees trying to keep up with him. Gilbert not really putting any pressure on him, and Witkowski holding off Martin pretty good there for 4th.
Boy, when Wood gets a run going right off the bat, it seems like he's going to be caught by the 136. But when he hits turn 3 and 4, he gets about 1 to 2 car lengths out in front. He is a goner. That 136, by the way, digital paint, digital liquid. What does it say on the right rear quarter panel? They're a beautiful machine, actually. I like how it looks like they just threw the paint on it, literally. And liquid digital is what I'm concerned. Kyle did a great job on that car. Behind him, the 7 of David Gilbert, 7N anyways of David Gilbert. He is in the 3rd place spot. And again, our 24N of Joe Witkowski, the 46N of Philip Martin. Single file restart this time, 13:48 into this race. The pace car lights are off. We'll bring him around again.
Coming around, I know these guys are pumped up and ready to rock and roll. You see some of them peeking inside already. See what the 23 decides to do this time by. Right now, showing 4 minutes on the clock to go racing. Here we go. Pace car's making that sharp left turn. And a quick jump for the 23 car right in the beginning of the box. Going to get a couple car length lead going down into 1. Looks like pressure's on again for the 23 of Witkowski with the 35 of Brandon Bradney on the back bumper of the 46 as they come down into turns 3 and 4. A little shove.
And he will turn him.
Joe Witkowski.
Joe unfortunately was. Go ahead, buddy.
I was just saying, unfortunately, does get the bumper from the 46 going down into 3. See if we can get any kind of different angle. Like the 46, just kind of let it roll a little bit too much, a little overcorrection. I know Joe's new to iRacing, so definitely hard to get a grip on how to gather it up with these things. So certainly understandable, kind of in a crummy spot in the corner to get that thing rolling again. And bring out another caution. 5 cautions already, Ray.
Yeah, and again, this is just a qualifier going on right now. With that all being said, though, the 24, he was in that position to get qualified for the feature. Behind him, Philip Martin. I believe on your screen it shows like the 23. On mine it shows 24. I'm not sure what's going on there. All good, but regardless, 24 and a Joe Witkowski unfortunately took a header there into the outside fence. With that being said, Philip Martin should be in our 4th place position. They're going to put him back to the tail end of the field for unfortunately. That's probably why I'm reading that incorrectly. So we'll get that corrected.
The N and the S, it is the North-South Racing League. So these guys, if you see it, these guys are obviously from the North Hemisphere of the United States. For these guys, Southern guys are the Southern United States, Florida, Alabama, all those guys down there. So that is what that is for.
I'll remember that. Again, dry run tonight. We're figuring everything out. We're getting all the facts for you as we go. This is why we're putting it together tonight before the official start of the season next Monday night, by the way. Hopefully you join us right here on DJ. I got to look up your channel because actually one thing that I never did was figure out the name of it. So if you could just put that out there, I'd appreciate it.
The Drive-In DJ Network, Ray. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, we're on it. We do some streaming. We're a super late model team out of the Midwest, and we do some broadcasting as well. Like we're having a little bit of issues though lining up as these guys are trying to gear up to go green. But yeah, we're all over the board right now. Been pretty busy in this delayed season start for our super late model. So been working really hard on that, ready to go racing in the next couple weeks with it. But until then, we're going to be announcing for these guys on Monday night, starting next week.
10-4, sir. With that being said, by the way, one of the confusions I have, again, we're trying to get the facts straight here. Please excuse me, DJ. It says Heat 1, 15 minutes or 25 laps, and of course they're running on lap 9. Who's on a little bit of something with that? That's all right. Here we go, green again. Single file restart. And obviously Greg Wood hits the loud pedal immediately off at turn 4. Pulls about 2 other car lengths out ahead of Kyle Spies. And that 136 challenge right now for third place. That'd be the 35 and the 7 of David Gilbert and Brady. Brady tried to get to the bottom, not enough room there to get by. The 7 shuts the door. Gilbert taking and holding on to that third place spot. But behind Brandon, Jacob Simons in that number 2 machine. In 5th place, he's trying to get there. That is feature time right ahead of him. And there's not a lot of time to go as he gets moved over by Peyton Johnson, side-by-side racing right now for the 6th place position.
They're coming down into 3. Looks like they're going to line up. The 142 making a big move. Trying to go to the outside of the 35 here as they come down through 3 and 4. Maybe blew a little peek, trying to see where he can go. He's going to get the top side from the 35, but that's going to open the door up for the 2 car. Looks like it's straight to the white flag as I'm checking our top of our screen there. So it might have been.
Takes a little bit of the front end there from Jacob Simons. And I believe you are correct. Remaining time right now is done and over with. So here's your top 4. Be Greg Wood in the 78, 136 Kyle Spies, a 7 of David Gilbert, and I'm believing I missed the last name as it just changed on me. Actually, 4th there. I see you just had it up in front of your screen there, bub.
Yeah, it happens fast when these guys transfer through. It doesn't really save.
Tis all good. Tis all good. All right, so here we go. We're going to run down your top, well, basically not top, but everybody starting tonight. 30 cars will start this race. Obviously, they inverted also, by the way, the top 10 during qualifying. So, on your point right now, on the 895 of Dustin, 889 of Dustin Shepard. Outside of him, be Jared Appel in the 51. Inside row 2, Sam Clark in that 52. Outside of him, the 96 of Tristan Valdez. Inside row 3, Justin Grosser, as well as Jesse Womack in the 14th on the outside. 7th place position, Dante Curtis in the 03 machine. Tyler McRae on the outside of him. And in the 9th position, Jacob Heathcote in the 37. And Brandon Kay, whoever Kay is, on the outside of him in the 10th place position.
In the back half of this top 20, Gary Ashton's going to be lining up in 11th next to Tony Mathis. Kaz Bedford in the 19 car will be lining up 13th in that red and yellow street stock, looking pretty good there. Kyle Harbin, he's lining up next to him. James Pileski and Robert Clavey are going to be in row number 8. Landon Williams and Jeff Mathis are going to be row 9. Andrew Schroeder in the 17 is going to be with Cody Ostrom to round out the top 20 in this one.
And the last time we got to talk about the 91 of Adam Jebel. He'll be in the 21st position. Outside of him, Richard Orr in the 198 machine. Inside next row, the 13 of Will Eastman, one of the North guys. Outside of him, the number 44 of Dan Witt. 25th place position will be John Masterson. In the 32, outside of him, Matt Cook. Greg Wood there, which was our pole sitter on the original, actually not the pole sitter, outside of front row there in our qualifier, but he finished top, will be on the 27th position. Kyle Spies in the 28th, David Gilbert in 29th, and running out the field is Brandon Brady, and green flag is immediately in the air. Let's go racing for 125 laps from Lanier.
Shepard off to a good start, side by side, all behind him. Definitely what he wants to see from 2nd and 3rd on back to 51 and 52. Sam Clark and Jared Apel still door to door as they come through for another lap. 96 car trying to make a move. Tristan Valdez on the high side trying to get that white street stock up into 3rd spot. They rub fenders a little bit as they come down for another lap. And we'll get up our ticker here. Looks like the 52 a little free. Curtis around into the wall in the 03. Caution's going to fly.
Sam Clark unfortunately lost it. I believe there was a checkup behind him, and it just went airborne right towards the wall there. Basically, I didn't see what car that was. We'll look on the replay as we go here. It was Dante Curtis. It looks like Dante checked up for the spin, knew it was going to happen, and just a victim of circumstance from shoving behind.
Yeah, nowhere to go in that position. Unfortunately, at the very beginning of this one, only 4 laps in, and he's going to have to bring that thing behind pit wall already and get it fixed up. Might run of it, left runs pretty.
Yeah, unfortunately, I took a look at that. There is no quick repairs for these guys this evening, so it is what it is. This is one of the things they're figuring out as they go.
Completely understandable. Unfortunately for him, going to have to try to race the rest of the race with that damage. We'll see how it affects the handling, if he can make up a couple spots There's plenty of cars to be passed in this one, Ray. We got 30 cars taking the green flag. So it does look like cautions are counting, though, in this one. I see we're up to lap 5 of 125.
Yeah, Dustin Shepard and Appel there in the 51. Both of them had breathing room to do any line they wanted. Everything from like third on back was just side by side. As they double up again, going down to the backstretch, pace car lights are off, and we're getting ready to go after the first caution of the night.
Absolutely. These guys door to door as they come through 3 and 4. Pace car is going to make that sharp left turn one more time. And off to it. Shepard with a big lead. The 51 car of Jared Apel is going to be door to door with the 96. Slow car up top. The 19 looks to be in some trouble there. Down into 1 and 2 through. This is through 3 and 4 one more time. These guys still side by side, 2 rows deep here for the top 5.
Jared Appel, in that 51 machine took it over the second place spot, running side by side for quite a while. Actually, it was Tristan Valdez, again, keeping the names straight here. Looks like single file, guy getting to the outside there. That looks like Womack loses a little bit, leaves the bottom open for Justin Grossier. Grossier takes the advantage, gives him a little tap coming out of 2. 3 wide down the backstretch.
These guys still 3 wide. Looks like Womack up top, Grosser the meat in the sandwich. Not what you want to be, but they're going to both get by the 14 car of Jesse Womack. Still door to door as they come through. 2 rows deep, loose on the bottom.
Loses it.
Oh.
McRae all by himself. That's the 4. South guy, actually, he'll lock it down as these guys go by. He was out of the groove, then tried to come back up. Thank God he hit the brakes before it happened into catastrophe there. 35 also spun. I think that may have been the caution, was a 35 of Brandon Berry. Bradeney.
Showing some issue there, and unfortunately for him, he's going to have to drop all the way back into the mid-20s position-wise. So, good for the 14 car after getting passed by a couple guys. He's going to be able to tuck right back in and not get freight trained. I know a lot of those guys in the back half of the top 5 were, coming through and coming through hard. There was a big train of them there on the bottom.
Well, that could have definitely been worse than what you expected, because when they come upon that number 4, he just started coming back on the track. And if he didn't lock it down, I'm telling you what, it could have been very catastrophic. That's it. We'll get that right.
You hit it right on the head there, Ray. Definitely.
A couple times, actually.
Definitely okay. And, yeah, man, I'm tongue-tied too. Laps are ticking off.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Shoved that off on me there, but Shepard leading every lap so far.
And Valdez up front. Yeah, we'll get this right, buddy. We'll get this right.
It's going to be a long season. We'll be fine, though. We'll be fine.
This is just the beginning. Hey, by the way, welcome tonight again to Linear Speedway and the North-South Racing League. Brought to you by Kelly's Custom Engraving down in North Carolina, as well as J&G's Hardwood Flooring out of Nashville, Tennessee. And keep in mind, short track racing, the whole pack is covering the entire field right at the moment in time. As the pace car comes down towards the start-finish line, you're going to see them double up. Those pace car lights should go.
2 cautions so far here at Linear, which is definitely no surprise, as the 29 car is coming around to get a lap back before we get rocking and rolling for some more green flag action. But as of right now, pace car is going to make that sharp left-hand turn. These guys going to bunch up. Watch for the accordion effect. Shepard off to a good start. The 96 of Tristan Valdez looks like a little cross under. Thinking about going to the inside of the leader there, but he's going to get some pressure from the 51 coming off of 4.
Jared Appel looking to that bottom side now to turn 3. He's got it right now, door to door with the 96 with Tristan Valdez. It's a drag race down the front stretch down to turn 1. Right now the 51 has the advantage on the bottom side by a nose. He'll take it down the back stretch, but not for long. Valdez right now trying to take it back. He'll fall back, and behind him for 3rd place. Behind them, it looks like Justin Grosser has made his way up through the pack. Actually make that Jesse Womack as well on the 14.
And a little bit farther back, you see the red 37 car. That's Jacob Heathcote. He's got a battle going on in front of him with the 93 of James Pileski and Brandon Kay side by side in front of him. The 34 car of Kyle Harbin behind them both. He wants to get his nose in this battle and try to get some positions as the laps are clicking off fast. 19 laps on this one completed. Coming around for lap 20. A lot of action down in the back as the front half of the field single file.
Right now, the biggest battles seem to be 8th, 9th, and 10th. Side-by-side action there for the 37 of Heathcote, as well as Kyle Harbin in the 34. They're door-to-door right now, drag racing. I'm sorry, outside. Jesse Womack on the inside of him. Grossier just waiting for Womack and Valdez to screw up there for that 3rd and 4th place position. But it looks like that 96 right now is trying to take over 3rd place spot. But Womack won't have any of that. He takes it down to the inside, opens the door for Grossier. Grossier comes down through under the backstretch, and he'll take over now the 4th place spot, excuse me.
Grosser definitely looking strong here in the very beginning, but right now Jared Apel putting pressure on Dustin Shepard as they're coming around, but the yellow flag's going to fly one more time. Not sure what for.
We're looking for it here on my screen. Looks like that may have been the 52 of Sam Clark. I see him behind here. If you want to get on him, we'll take a look. Yep, I see a spin right over there by the 52, and it looks like he may have had a little help.
Coming through, looks like the 4 car inside of him just gets into the left rear going into the corner there. He goes around for a wild ride and burns it out to straighten it back up and get going racing one more time. So unfortunately for him, the 4 of Tyler McRae, after going around, still maybe a little frustrated for making a mistake early and going to have to work his way back up to the front one more time.
Tyler McRae and the 52 of Sam Clark, both south guys away. Sam Clark will get a wave around right here, take it back to the front lap anyways if you have. Pace car right now down into turn 1. Trying to get the field packed back up here. 52 will join the tail end behind the 44 of Dan Witt. These guys trying to figure out, well, I guess they're still having some trouble here in the back, trying to figure out which position they go in while the pace car seems to be catching up to them.
Oh, Tennessee. Sponsors on that car are one of the title sponsors for this racing series, J&G Hardwood. Tennessee Army National Guard, 615 signs and designs. 5 years racing experience for him, so it's definitely no surprise to see him out in front. He's been back-to-back champion in a former series that he used to run on Monday nights, the Shut Up and Race series. So a lot of good competition in that one, and he's showing his cards right now as he's not a stranger to being up front. But Jared Apel, also from actually from the north, I should say, is putting pressure on him. So we'll see if he can get anything more out of him as we're 29 laps completed. Pace car lights are off.
Changing to single file restart here. Again, keep in mind, Shepard can hit the loud pedal anytime all 4 tires go down to the bottom of that pit from the pace car, and he does so at this point. Does a little, looks like almost like a little brake check in there, but it just lifted off the throttle enough to kind of screw up the second. Valdez trying to make his way back up to the top 4, and he has a challenge on the outside from the 38 of Grossier.
These guys side by side. Looks like Brandon Kay as we go to the Kelly's Customs in-car camera here. The 98S looking to the inside of the, we'll see if he can make any progress, run back that 96 down one more time. Gary Eschen in the 23 though, he's poking his nose in here and he's trying to break his way up into this top 5 group as well.
Still anybody's race, everybody on pretty good tires up front. As you were talking about Gary Eschen, he takes it to the bottom side, has a nose out ahead of the 98 as the caution comes out again for the 3rd time this evening. Car spun on the backstretch. Looks like the 78.
Registered Trading Paints playing tricks on us, but don't worry, we'll find a way to make it called what it should be. Let's see what we can see here. Already sideways as we go way farther back. Comes off the corner, gets together with the 73. Kind of corrects it a little bit. Looks like the 35 gets a bump. And the 23 just goes around spinning almost the whole corner. So,
yeah, it's kind of a repeat. Kind of a repeat what happened last time. Don't even interrupt you there, DJ. Where the checkup, where they were having the problem in front of them, and everybody checked behind them, and that's where the checkup was, and everybody that was behind the checkup didn't check up. So unfortunately, it's one of them things that happen. Not a big deal. We got to again working our 3rd caution of the evening.
Absolutely, as we're coming down here, 35 laps about to be completed. These guys, I know they want to get some racing action going on, but Dustin Shepard right now is kind of enjoying these cautions. Every time, about 2 or 3 laps in, tires start to warm up. Jared Apel definitely making a run for him and trying to put the pressure on him, but just not getting the green flag run that I think that 51 car really needs.
Yeah, only 4 guys, by the way, right now, 1 lap down, 26 still on the lead lap. Long ways to go, working lap 36. 125 is the goal tonight. Single file restarts are still going to be in the books as we're looking right now. Pace car lights are still on going down the back stretch. We'll see what happens kind of come up. Usually you can tell when they double up, the pace car lights are going to go off, but in this case, I can't tell because obviously single file restarts kind of screwed up. But with that being said, Pace car hits the start-finish line, and magically they shut off again. We got it, bud.
Absolutely. Looking for the 51 car, warming up his tires around this tricky little oval here. He's ready to get some heat in him and try to dig, not get jumped by the 89 of Dustin Shepard. We'll see what happens here as they come around to the green. Go back racing one more time.
And here we go. Pace car is off.
Green, green, green.
Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, the 51 off to an awesome jump right away. Read him like a book. We'll go on board with the 51 car, the Kelly's custom engraving onboard camera here. You can see Jared Apel right in line with the 89, right in his tire tracks as they come down through for another lap here. Right to the bottom of the track, dipping those left sides down under the yellow line and trying to set up the 89, seeing what he can do. You got to think with about 39, 40 laps on these.
Exactly what's happened. If you watch that 51 last lap, he come off at turn 2 and that rear end stepped out from underneath him. Womack looked to take the advantage but was not able to get to that point. With that being said, top 4 right now, you can throw a blanket over, as they usually say. And behind them, there's a battle for 5th and 6th. That's Gross here in the 38 and the 23. And we have our 4th caution of the night. Looks like the 7 car off of turn 4. And one of our lead guys will hit him there under caution. That's the 51, Jared Apel. Unfortunately, just a victim of circumstance. Now we have a wreck here again with the 93 that spun and the 14, which is Josie Womack.
Oh, that is frustrating if you're a lead car, as you get another caution for these guys. See if we can find out what happened here.
Looks like the 7 just come down a back chute there. Kind of got hot into the turn 3 and lost it on his own because he got his tires on an apron, and it just went around kind of by himself. No help whatsoever. With that being said, again, what it is, there's a transition between the apron and the track, and there's a lot of marbles down there in the bottom, too. And if you look up top of the track, there's a lot there as well, so you want to stay out of that groove. But with that being said, the 7 just got loose, went around, caused that caution, and a few other guys kind of did the same exact thing at the time the yellow flag come out.
Yeah, definitely frustrating to try to get as much grip as you can out of these things to get them going as fast as possible, but going to be a victim of circumstances there for the 51. We'll see if he has any damage. Doesn't look like it. Maybe just bumped a little bit to that car that went around. Don't see any damage on either front fender, so he looks pretty clean coming around.
Yeah, I see Jared, Jesse Womack is screwed up the oar a little bit, but able to keep his position there in 3rd place in that 14 machine. The 51, of course, again ahead of him, also in contact with the caution car. Pace car lights are still on. There are a few wave arounds happening. And again, we'll get everything back underway here shortly. I believe that I did say caution number 3. Did I say not? I think it's 4 right now. 4 cautions of the night, if I'm not mistaken.
Up in the top hand of our layout, you can actually see, Ray, we're on our 5th caution of the evening in 46 laps. You know?
This is where the facts have got to come in, and I really got to learn them. That's what it comes down to.
Not a problem one bit. We're learning together here. We're having some fun. We got a new layout compared to what we used to have. But right now, we're focused on these guys getting ready to go green. Shepard off to a good jump. And have a half a car to a car link going down into turn 1. Apel trying to give chase there, but the 13 of Will Eastman looks like he's putting pressure on Eschen as they come down off of 2. Eschen at the same time is looking to the inside of Justin Grosser.
Grosser there just kind of didn't really keep it to the bottom all that much. Looks like there's a chance of getting freight trained right now. Another new name joins the pack, Will Eastman on the 13 on the inside of that 38. He'll take over what seems to be the 6th place spot, and the 38 getting shoved to the back pretty quickly. The 98 Brandon Kane with our 6th caution of the night on the speedway.
You see it's the 35 car. We'll see how far back we need to go. Like he was outside of the 7, the 136 of Kyle Spees inside him. Trying to dig to the bottom here in this one, and looks like he's going down to the bottom of the track and just gets together with the 7 car, fighting for the same real estate.
Yeah, David Gilbert, that's 2 cautions in a row, unfortunately, he's been involved in. This time it looks like he just didn't leave the bottom open or left it open too long and then tried to shut the door, and it just did not happen. 35 with the position there. That would be the 35 down my list of Brandon Braney. Now, Braney, by the way, Bradney was up in the beginning. I think he was in the top 10. Now, unfortunately, he's down a lap, and he is in the 25th position. So, again, getting involved with an early wreck. He is the first of a line of guys at 1 to 2 laps down.
Yeah, definitely what you don't want to be in. I mean, the laps are ticking off as these cautions are kind of adding up. We're getting 3, 4, 5 laps per caution. 51 laps down so far of 125 for this final recruitment race. Ray, this is a new series for these guys as they come across your screen. And, I mean, from the south here, you got someone out of Tennessee. You got Apel. He's out of Wisconsin. A whole, a broad area of drivers come together in this league and kind of represent the areas that they're from.
So now, let me ask you, DJ. I don't know exactly where you're at. Are you in North Carolina?
I am not. I'm actually in Northwest Indiana. I'm about 45 minutes from Chicago.
So we're a bunch of North guys on here. So we want the North to beat the South again. That's what it comes down to, baby.
Absolutely, yeah. Womack actually out of Wisconsin, and it looks pretty evened up. A lot of North guys. You got Valdez and Shepard from the South, Brandon Kay from the South, Harbin up into the top 10. So with John Masterson as well in the 32. So it's pretty even split.
I'm not dissing anybody, buddy, because all these guys are going to drive these cars. With that being said, green flag back out in the air. 89 Dustin Shepard gets a little tap to the rear bumper there of Jared Appel there in the 51, and he is sticking right with him. Half a car length back. They'll go down to turn 3. Looks like he just about taps him again, coming out of 4. Goes to the inside, loosens him up a bit, but doesn't open the door enough time for him to get there. Down through turn 2. 1, 2, 3. Shepard, Appel, Womack just fighting out this top 10. Lap 55 is what they're working on right now, and a couple little battles towards the back.
Yeah, you can see there's battling down back for 4th and 5th. That looks to be straightened up. Looking like some doors going on there. 76 getting freight train. Tristan Valdez was showing some speed early, but these guys are lined up on the bottom, and he's going to drop like a tank. I mean, like an Ancor, Ray. I don't know what to say, man. He's just going backwards faster than I could even talk. Unfortunately for him.
91's passing him right now. He is just getting absolutely freight trained. Kaz Belford in the 19 trying to get to the bottom side of him. He is there right at the door. Going to open up a little bit of hole behind the 19. Hopefully that 96 of Valdez can get down there. Back up front. Place of Will Eastman at 13, who made his way back up through. He is trying to keep up with these guys.
Yeah, and these guys off to a pretty good run going as we're coming around to about 60 laps completed. The top half of this field, pretty much all single file. Looks like the 64 getting a little loose there on the bottom, or the 34, I'm sorry. Kyle Harbin, these guys door to door for 9th and 10th, and there's a pack coming. The 96 back to the bottom. So we're going to see if he can make something happen here as they get together.
91
the 91.
Around, turn 4.
Yep, absolutely. We saw it happen when it happened. No caution as of yet. He's going to get that 91 up and running. Keep that thing paced down to the bottom. Leaders are coming though, so I have to stay out of the way for this one. Shepard with some pressure coming up on those lap cars, so we'll see what happens here. Pressure gonna be applied by the 51 as we have 3 lap cars just ahead of the leaders here coming around for lap number 63.
As long as these leaders, as long as lap cars go high, it shouldn't be a problem. With that being said, we're starting to get in the mix, and a long green flag run, longest one of the night at this point. The 91 obviously get out of the way there. He was able to. And kudos to him, by the way, for not bringing out the caution. That is one thing that these guys have a tendency to do, is if they get stuck like that, they'll wait for the caution to come out. Turn around, kept it going. Good boy. Kudos to you, buddy. With that being said, Dustin Shepard out front, 44 and the 91, is right ahead of our leaders, trying to keep on that lead lap. Actually, the 44, let me take a look here. Dan DeWitt, he is on the lead lap in 20th. And the 91 of Adam Gibo, I'll get that name right, in the 21st position. They're about to go down as the leader does get down to the bottom of the 44. The 91 holding them guys up on the inside line right now.
And they're still digging. Shepard with some pressure from Apel as he's coming up on the 91. Gary Eschen has made his presence known as he's right on the back bumper of the 14 of Jesse Womack. So everybody kind of getting bunched up as they come through here, trying to get by the 91 car of Adam Giebel. And the 51 at the back door of the 89. So look for something to happen here as the 91 still fighting hard on the outside.
Yeah, Giebel able to take and get out of the way. He finally gave it this time. He was trying to keep on that lead lap and hope for a caution. I would be thinking that's what's going through his head. And, well, unfortunately, he's down a lap right now. He's behind the 4th place position of Gary Eschlin. By the way, have you ever seen a good go-kart race where everybody runs the bottom and they kind of move everybody and keep around going? Well, I haven't seen anybody move just yet, but this is exactly what it reminds me of. A lot of these guys staying right on the bottom of that, quickest way around, diamonding the track. Again, that 89 of Shepard just in control, but not without challenge from Appel in that 51.
Yeah, all these guys, as we're looking back, pretty much single file, not a whole lot of movement. As we look at all the lead lap cars, the tightest battle seems to be right up front with Shepard and Apel nose to tail, I should say, and a train's still being attained there with Eschen keeping up with these guys. Womack trying to get his nose up in here as the 51 of Apel's trying to put some pressure on the 89 of Dustin Shepard. Coming around, we got 72 laps completed, and it looks like things are starting to heat up front.
Apel trying to get to that bottom side. He's there every time, but just not enough motion to get past that front place of the 89 of Shepard. Womack, though, right up to the tail of that 51 machine. He was there a couple times where he could have kept on the throttle and just kind of give him a wiggle, but it's too early for all that. Lap 73 right now is what we're on. We're about halfway through this race. This time by. With that being said, Dustin Shepard just at that point, looking at the front of the 51 machine now. Not any damage really done to it, even though he did come in contact with a caution car. Looks like he'll try to the inside. Not enough room just yet. Not enough horsepower either, but he's looking again down the front stretch. Gets to the right or left for a corner. Takes that inside. Pushes Shepard up the track. It is a drag race back to the start finish to see who leads this lap.
And look out now, but here comes the 14 car of Jesse Womack, going to take advantage of this situation as it's known to him. Apel still having the right rear covered. Looks like he's going to clear him this time, but he's going to have Womack making a move here, trying to think about it. Brake rotor's glowing in this top 4 pack. Eschen's going to try to make a move to the bottom. He's going to go 3 wide. Stick it in there on the 14, put him up to second. Shepard's going to get shuffled all the way back to 4th. Looks like the 13 of Will Eastman's coming in this one. He wants to have some fun here as he broke into the top 5. And look now, the 38 of Justin Grosser.
Were able to take and get around that corner, was able to turn it with the help of 2 other machines on the outside. Womack now still in the 3rd place position. Echelon in the 2nd place, and Apel now takes over the lead in the 51 machine. Apel out front, and as we see the 89 of Shepard just continuously shoved back, and the conductor's just driving that freight train on the bottom side. The 38 of Grossier is trying to take and get by him. He'll do it right now. Down the front chute, he'll go. Grossier will take over that 6th place spot, make it 5th place at this point in time.
Cars on the lead lap. We're coming around for lap number 81. Apel off to about a 6/10 of a second lead. Eschen right now, though, keeping up pace, running a little bit faster, about a 1/2 tenth faster. I pulled down pit road, but Womack keeping up with the 23 car. So now both these guys able to kind of run their own line and kind of use the whole track up, build up speed, and they're slowly pulling away from the 13 end of Will Eastman.
Keeping an eye on that leader, Justin Apel, or excuse me, I keep calling him Justin. It's Jared. Jared, you can kick my rear end later out in the parking lot. Jared Apel out there at 51 machine. Once he got away, he just got his own line going, and the 2 behind him, once they tried to get side by side, they were fighting. They lost a bunch of room, but now it seems to be actually gaining on the leader. Echelon in 2nd place. He'll get turned a little bit by the 14, able to gather back up to the outside, taking and straighten that car back up. Green still flies, but he'll lose a bunch of positions back to 3rd. Now he'll fight back to get to 3rd with that 78 on the inside, 78 being a lap down of himself, of Greg Wood. Leader still walking away with this right now without challenge when the 14 of Womack hit the 23. Unfortunately, that slowed him down too, and it made a good 8 car lengths between our top 2.
And the funny thing is, the 14 and 23, when they were nose to tail, were actually a 1/2 tenth faster than the leader, the 51 of Apel. So kind of crazy to see those things turn out. Those guys kind of hurt each other more than they helped each other. Could have maybe duked it out a little bit later in the race if they both got up to the top 2. But that's going to bring the 38 car of Justin Grosser. He's going to work his way past and make his way into the top 4. Shepard, after getting freight trained, he's moving that 89 car back up front, but the yellow flag's going to fly one more time. We'll see who that was.
Looks like the 73 of Cody Ostrom. He's slow on the bottom over in turn 2. We'll take a look at him as he goes to the outside, taps the wall, unfortunately, then the inside wall. And that'll bring out our 6th caution of the night here at Linear Speedway.
Yeah, just, I don't know, man, longer run. You got to think endurance has got to play a little bit of a role here as they're seeing the same thing over and over again. Just came off a little bit tight, fully on the gas, not letting those front wheels get any traction. Shoves the nose up into the wall and then nowhere to go. He comes down to the inside wall. So he's going to bring that thing down, try to get it fixed up. But with no quick repairs, we've had some guys dropping out, Ray. Down 7 cars so far, 8 cars, and 16 on the lead lap. So a lot of guys going a lap down in that one. We saw Greg Wood, our B main winner. He went a lap down under green there as everybody was slicing and dicing. But right now, Garrett Apel in the 51 car took the lead. Womack's going to get a shot as he got around the 23 car of Gary Eschen. Will Eastman up to 4th. Shepard was actually ahead of him. Eastman worked his way by, and Grosser's still in the top 5.
And here's a couple things that come into play. 3 guys that I see, they're going to get 4 fresh tires for this long run at the end. And I believe that is 100% legal in this league. It might put them down as quick as it takes to take and change these tires. And it looks like the 98, unfortunately, Shepard lost his pit. He had to go a pit ahead by the time he was done. Right side's up on the 98 as I'm looking at him right now. 98 of Brandon Kay. That'll put him down in 15th place position. By the way, speaking of Brandon Kay, we'll see if we can get a last name out of this guy. He's the number 98. Let's take a look down my list here.
I believe it's Klazinski.
Klazinski. That's probably why they put K out there. He'll stay on the lead lap, by the way. Brandon Kay will be the 98. He's from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Actually, his highway. I don't even want to ask what that is, to be honest with you.
We'll find out soon enough, but right now everybody's geared up. 2x2 pace car is going to come down. Apel off to a big jump. Eschen and Womack side by side. Eastman a little bump to the 14 car as they come through turns 1 and 2. Eschen's going to take second spot away from Womack with the 35 of Harbin working his way through. Nobody on new tires up until 12th spot, so these guys side by side look for a lot of action to be had throughout the field. If we can keep it green, all these guys on new hoops, they only took right sides so to not get lapped. But they're going to be making some moves right now. Grosser kind of leading the pack on this one. But a lot of traffic up in front of him if he wants to get forward.
Lap 96 is what we're on right now. 30 laps to go. It's going to be a shootout from here on out. 30 cars started this. We are down to, I believe, 22 at this point in time from what I'm seeing. Back up front right now, 34, Kyle Harbin. We haven't heard from him all night long. Besides the fact that the 3 guys that I saw go into the pit, was able to give him the chance to get back up in the 3rd place spot, but on the inside of him, Womack will take that back from him pretty quick. He'll also bring with him the 13 and the 96 of Valdez. Womack there in the 14 got a little bit skittish coming off the corner. That'll slow up everybody behind him, and that'll open up between him and the 23 ahead of him of Gary Echelon.
And right now, Valdez working his way around the 34. Unfortunately, the train is hooked up. Dante Curtis behind this one. John Masterson's working his way by. Curtis, the 57 of Jeff Mathis. All these guys going to work their way by. And here comes 2 new tires of the 38, working his way in, sliding it down there. Going to keep it straight on the apron. The 38 thought about going 3 wide, thinks better of it, tucks in behind the 57 as he gets wide here. Definitely faster than these guys, though, with those 2 fresh tires, but time's running out. He dives to the bottom there. Grosser slowly working his way up into the top 10.
Yeah, Mathis lost a little bit of room there. The 57 let the 38 by. 38 is a coming. Grossier there. He is one of the guys with fresh tires, as you're saying. And right behind him, the 89 of Dustin Shepard kind of wakes his way through. Now he's onto the inside of the 57 of Mathis. These guys are coming to the front. Look out for a challenge coming up shortly.
Right now, big lead right now, 8 tenths for Jared Apel in the 51 car. Eschen behind him, no pressure, but as we look on back, the 13 car of Will Eastman has the 96 of Valdez peeking down the back bumper. It looks like a lap car in between. Dante Curtis, though, jumping his way up into the top 7, but he's getting some pressure right now from the 38. Those new tires definitely helping Grosser and Shepard as they're both working their way faster than the leader, and man, they're cooking right now, Ray.
Keep an eye on that 5th place to Valdez. By the way, you were talking about him. Eastman ahead of him in that 4th place spot. The 13 came out of nowhere, and he is getting a whole bumper full of that 96 of Valdez. Valdez using that chrome horn to his advantage, but it's not working. Now he'll go to the inside, catch the left rear corner of 13, lose a little bit of the rear end. Side by side, they'll come down through turn 3. But a little bit of chrome horn back to the 13, and a crossover move to the inside at the stripe. The 13 will take the advantage on the bottom side, and he'll bring the 38 with him, and that's going to hang out the 96 out to dry.
And you see Grosser trying to look to the inside. Definitely faster than both these guys, especially when duking it out. Shepard just letting the 38 car do all the work as he's going to dig to the inside of the 96, slinging it in there sideways. Both these guys just drifting around, using up the new tires. Grosser looking to the inside, shutting the door on him, though, is Eastman. These guys coming around. We got 17 laps to go, Ray. Here comes Grosser and Shepard up to 4th and soon to be 5th for Shepard. These guys are digging, and they're about to run into the 14 and 23 as they have clear track ahead of them.
Short track racing at its best here with the 38 and Shepard. Keep an eye on those two, the 38 and 39, right now in 4th and 5th place position. Womack is going to have a challenge here very shortly. Every lap he knocks off about 2 to 3 positions all the way up to the 14. Right now 4 car lengths behind is a 38, make it 3 coming off a turn 2. They'll go down the chute. 14 has got to be nervous a little bit in that 3rd place spot, but look at it this way, they're not far from the leader between the 38 and the 89, so it may not have been a bad move to go in and get them 2 tires. Right now, the 38 2 car lengths back from the 3rd place spot, lap 113 at the stripe.
And right now with 7 cautions, you got to think that caution is definitely what's going to save the 38 and the 89. Not sure if they're going to have enough time.
Speaking of which,
there it is. These guys are going to be up into the 3rd and 2nd and 3rd rows as we were on board seeing how much faster.
15.
About 2
of
tenths
Matt Cook and
faster. Where are we at? There we
look
go.
like the 15 of Matt Cook, and I'm trying to check out the other car here.
Looks like the 4 of Tyler McRae.
Of Tyler McRae.
Yep. Ray looking to the inside of the 15. But he just gets into him there. The lightest touch. These cars are already on the edge. Couple victims there. The 34 car of Kyle Harbin's going to get a piece of that one.
Now, a couple things come into play here. First of all, obviously the 15 and 4, I believe, will be out of a challenge of this race for at least a top 10. The 51 on point, older tires. 23 of Gary Echelon, older tires. Womack, older tires. 4th and 5th place. Grossier and Shepard, we've been watching them come through the pack for the past 20 laps. Lap 115 is what they are. Will they have enough to take and finish this? And if that's the case, they just actually gave them a chance to catch up to the leader. So what do you think's going to happen here? Now, the 51, I'm thinking right now, is going to come off turn 4, and once all 4 tires of that pace car blow into that pit position, he's just going to gun it. What do you think, bud?
No, the only thing helping him right now is going to be the 23 and 14, and they're hungry as well to make something happen. So when you're in control of this one, you got 2 guys with new tires. If they have any kind of racing apps or anything like that, they could just see these guys were all the way back in 15th, and in just 24 laps at this small track, they made their way up into the top 5 already. And, you know, just as well, Brandon Kay, he took some tires too. He's up to 8th, but good recovery for the 03 of Dante Curtis, by the way, as he went around on like lap 2, getting that thing up into the top 6. But yeah, the 51, Ray, I'm right with you. When the pace car comes off, he's got to gun it, go, and hope that he can keep these guys behind him, because he's going to come around to about 7 laps to go for the green, and they're doubling up right now.
Yeah, that's the next thing, by the way, with double up, it even brings him closer to the leader. That 38 is hungry. He's only 2 lengths back, outside of the 2nd row. Inside of him, the 89. Now, if the 89 of Shepard takes the jump and gets to the inside of the 38, you're going to see a whole different ball game, and green flags back in the air, hopefully for the final time this evening.
And a good start for both guys on the front row. Eschen's going to have the 51 just ahead of him, but on the top side, the 38's making it work as he's just outside of Womack, trying to keep the 23 pinned as well to the bottom side of the racetrack, but Eschen's going to get a whole corner in side by side as they come around for 6 laps to go. Womack looks like he has 2 cars with fresh tires around him. Shepard at the bumper, 38 to the door. I don't know which way these guys are going to go, but they're going to try to work their way around him. They're going to split him, looks like 3 wide down into 1.
14 in the middle. Unfortunately, another caution, and that will bring the 38 around after the caution happens. While they made it 3 wide coming off of turn 2. We'll take a look, see what the caution was all about there.
Not sure, a lot of cars slowed down in this one. Like the 73 slowing down on the bottom. We'll see if we can find out what happened. Looks like the 57 just coming around, nowhere to go. 73 car of Cody Ostrom. He's going to go and hit the inside barrier. So it looks like that was the reason for the caution. 4 laps to go this time. That's exactly what Apel wanted to see. Unfortunately, the 38 car of Justin Grosser gets turned by the 14 as the caution came out at the same time. And I'm not even sure I see the 14 car anymore.
Yeah, I was looking for that myself. I believe Womack there is out of range in the pits. Not exactly sure what happened to Jesse, but that brings Brandon Kay up into the 3rd place spot. Dante Curtis in the 5th place. I see Shepard is in the 3rd. Let me see. Where is the 89? Who else was the other car? Oh, the one that got spun was the 38.
Yeah, yep.
I'm believing that Justin Gross here there is back. I'm not sure exactly what happened because that wasn't the cause of the caution, obviously. That happened after the caution flag flew, and I don't see any reason he should be back that far unless he pitted. I didn't catch that.
No, I didn't see him pit. It looks like just like when the caution came out, got a little love tap from the 14 car, and unfortunately went around almost at the same time the caution came out, and it might have been just a victim of can't keep up with the pace car kind of thing. Some cars went by, and loss of control thing, kind of everything kind of combined with that one. So unfortunately, he's going to be inside row 3, but inside row 2. No, he's going to be inside row 4. I'm sorry. Inside row 2, though, is going to be Dustin Shepard. So look for him to get a jump with these guys. They're going to have a green-white checker. We're going double file right now. April going to have one more shot with Eschen to his outside, but he has 2 cars, teammates, both out of Tennessee. Some Southern boys on the second row, some Northern boys in the front row. Wisconsin versus Tennessee. Here we go.
Bunch of bumping going on, green flag in the air. Dustin Shepard right now, it is his race to win. He'll go to the inside of the 23 of Eschlin. 2 laps to go right now, 1.5 actually, the 89 to the lower part of the track. In the tire tracks of Appel.
They're going to come around for the white flag. 1 to go this time by Shepard. Gets up to the back bumper of the 51. We'll see if he can make anything happen as he gets a good run down the back straightaway. Has the 51 in his sights. Looks like a car goes around. Jared Apel's going to come around for the final recruitment race, though, and take it home with Dustin Shepard on the tail end of him. Gary Eschen's going to come home third. Dante Curtis bringing that 03 around for a 4th place spot and gaining 2 spots to round out the top 5 is the 38 of Justin Grosser. Good finish, Ray. What do you think?
Not too bad for Justin, man. I'll tell you what, I didn't think he was going to make it back up that far, but kudos to him. 2 laps, had enough tires to take and do that. We'll clear the front stretch here and allow the guys to take some pictures of the top 3. Again, the 51, 89, 23 of Apel, Shepard, Eschlon. Great racing tonight down here at the front stretch. And we'll
the top 3 cars, so we'll start in the back half of the field, or of the top 3, I should say. We'll see if we can jump on with Gary Eschen. Gary, this is DJ and Ray up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, man, pretty decent run. Didn't take any tires. You were sliding around. A lot of back and forth action in the top 5 and bringing home a top 3. What do you think about this one?
Oh, yeah, not too bad. Starting 11th, I ate my tires up coming through the field, so I was just happy to be able to hold on to a P3 there.
Absolutely. You had a good run, and I mean, you, Womack, Grosser, Shepard, all you guys slicing and dicing throughout the race on this tight little oval. It was good to see a top 3 come home, and you stayed out of trouble pretty much all race long. Came in from 11 starting spots, so congratulations. Anybody you want to thank for this one?
Just the league and all the admins for putting on this show tonight.
Awesome, man. Well, we appreciate your participation. We're looking forward to seeing you as the season goes on. Gary Eschen, your 3rd place finisher for tonight's final recruitment race here at Lanier.
Thank you.
We'll see if we can catch up.
Absolutely. Dustin Shepard, if you want to take this one away, we'll see if I can grab him, put him in here for you. We'll get some word in from him.
User was moved to your channel.
Ray Richard here with Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Did I get that right, Dustin?
Yes, sir. Murfreesboro.
Murfreesboro, Tennessee's own Dustin Shepard, 2nd place tonight in that 89. First of all, great call on the tires, man. I got to give you kudos to that.
Thank you, sir. Yes, and I figured if we had a little green run, me and Justin Grory.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Justin there during that last caution to come out. Unfortunately, he got spun, put to the back a little bit. Not all the way to the back, of course, but I think that was just a call of iRacing. But that being said, man, it gave you the opportunity at the end. Run us through that last lap. Were you going to take and use that chrome horn? It's short track racing. Come on, fess up.
Yeah, if I could get close enough and push him a little bit, I would have, but I wasn't going to dive bomb him and just turn him. I said if I was closer, where I could have rolled in the center of the corner and try to push him a little bit, I would have. But it's said I'm not going to turn somebody.
Hey, man, podium finish still isn't a bad thing, especially when you're halfway up the podium in 2nd place. Anybody you want to thank this evening, man?
Yeah, man. J&G Hardwood, of course, with sponsor me, make sure I have my computers up to date and I have all the best software. North-South Racing League, of course, Driving DJ Network. You and DJ doing a great job coming on board with us. So we're excited.
Well, we're glad to be here, man. Looking forward to a great season. Again, this is the recruitment race tonight, and was fun to watch, fun to call. and can't wait for next week for the beginning of the season. Congratulations in second place spot, Dustin Shepard in the 89.
After getting a word in with him, we're going to see if we could bring the winner of the event into this one. Jared Apel, this is DJ and Ray up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, heck of a run. You worked your way up to the front, got around Dustin Shepard there in the later third of the race, and, man, looked really impressive. We were glad to see it. And what do you think about the race?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was clean racing up front. A little bit of bumper tag on starts and stuff like that, but you'll get that at a short track. So, I don't really have much to complain about. I got to start on the second row, so, I didn't really have to be back by the demolition derby in the back, it seemed like.
Yeah, 9 cautions in this one. Definitely can be frustrating. You definitely were showing some speed early, just couldn't get the runs. I feel like your car kind of needed. Shepard would get off to some pretty good jumps, and you would catch him about 3 or 4 laps in, but just, by the time you got there, it seemed like every time that would happen, there would be a car coming around and the caution would fly.
Yeah, I was trying to, make it as clean as possible. I could have just drilled them and pushed them out of the way, but I don't want to race like that. So, just trying to keep it clean and, race with respect for everyone, like trying to race like it was an actual car.
Absolutely. You get what you give, whether you're on iRacing or on the track. So I'm sure Shepard definitely appreciates that. He raced you pretty clean there at the end as he got to your bumper. And, it's good to see some hard racing action finally in one of these leagues. Really excited to see that. Anybody you want to thank for your victory here tonight?
Yeah, just the North-South Racing League. Without them putting it on, I wouldn't be able to do it. So it's a lot of fun racing with all these guys, and, I look forward to next week.
Awesome, man. Well, we really appreciate you joining us, and we'll catch you next time in that sharp-looking number 51 machine.
Thank you. Hopefully you'll be in first next week also.
Absolutely. Hopefully you'll be our last interview of the night, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Yep, thanks a lot.
Well, and that being said, Mr. Driving DJ, I'd like to thank our sponsors this evening of the North-South Racing League, Kelly's Custom Engraving. Again, check them out on Facebook. They have Kelly's Custom Engraving is a locally owned and operated business specializing in custom engraved wood, leather, glass, acrylic, and many more materials. Contact Kelly's Custom Engraving at jrkelly149@gmail.com, as well as J&G Hardwood Flooring out of Tennessee. Again, thank you very much for having me this night. Can't wait till next week for a 13-week league starting first time next week, Monday night, again, 9 p.m. Eastern, and whatever the time you got out there. I believe you're in Central Time, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. You guys are just ahead of me by about an hour.
Yeah, well, I'll go to bed earlier than you. That's what it comes down to.
But Ray, I really appreciate you joining me this evening for this one. I know it's kind of spur of the moment for these guys, but definitely good to see some new names. We're going to learn the names of these guys, where they're from, and have some more background information as the weeks go on. So it's great to be able to see some new faces. But for Ray Richer, I'm DJ Weltmeyer with the Driving DJ Network. Don't